Welcome aboard the news, the AM News on the AM show. Let's start from the appointment committee hearing that degenerated into chaos and fistfights yesterday as NDC and NPP members of Parliament traded words and blows over whether or not more nominees should be vetted on Thursday night. Now, the vetting process took a dramatic turn as tensions between the majority and minority sides escalated into chaos. What began as a routine process soon spiraled into heated confrontations, scuffles, and even destruction of equipment. Our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Kweku Asante, saw it all and now reports.
It was a day of rising tension and heated exchanges, but one which started with a cordial yet charged vetting process. Two nominees, Murtala Mohammed and Rashid Purple, sailed through their questioning unscathed. But when Communications Minister-designate Sam George took the hot seat, things quickly escalated, his grilling stretching over 5 hours, with Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin holding the floor for nearly 4 of those 5 hours. Tempers flared as the NPP side of the committee, led by Afenyo-Markin, declared they will vet no more than 2 more nominees and proceeded to scrutinize Transport nominee Joseph Bukari Nikwe and Sports Minister nominee Kofi Adams in a very brief fashion. Tensions reached a boiling point with both sides digging in their heels.
You're close. You're close. You're close. You're close. You're close. No. It's not going to happen. It's not happening. It's not happening. We are not doing this. We are not voting. We are not venting. It's not happening. It's not happening.
The NPP MPs all now rising to their feet, their opposition loud and clear as they rejected any further vetting of Health Minister-designate Kwabena Minta Kando and Foreign Minister-designate Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Do it. Who's doing it? What's wrong? What are you hiding? The marshal can come and take me away. Yeah, let them do it. Who's doing it? We won't do it. What did you tell me now? Tomorrow we'll do it. It won't happen. It won't happen.
More chaos and drama erupted as the NPP MPs began raising their chairs and slamming them onto the tables in protest.
You want the worst, you have it. It won't happen. It won't happen. It won't happen. Do your worst. Do your worst. Do your worst.
The room, packed with family and supporters of the nominees, erupted in boos, voicing their displeasure with the NPP stance. Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre made a passionate defense of his side's opposition.
Kofi Adams was not part of the arrangement. We compromised and did it. We agreed on 4. We have done 5. They should understand. What is this? Why? Look, some of them, we spend less than 30 minutes on them. We can't do proper vetting with this short time. They should understand this. Otherwise, it will not happen. It will not happen.
But even as he was speaking, a scuffle broke out between Majority Chief Whip Roxanne Dafiamepo and former Deputy Transport Minister Hassan Tampuli.
And there's a violence, there's fight. This is literally 2 MPs at each other's net. Honorable Hassan Tampuli together with Roxanne Nelson Dafiamepo pushing, holding each other's clothes as we speak. And their leaders are trying to separate them, and none of them will allow this to happen. And they've been separated as we speak. But this is chaos.
And just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, NPP MPs near one of the tables overturned it, crashing microphones to the floor. The table itself was left in ruins, 2 of its legs broken, the ensuing chaos.
Oh, it's chaos. The table have been turned. It's chaos, it's chaos, it's chaos, it's chaos. The table have turned. More microphones are falling to the ground and things have been destroyed. The table has broken. The table has been broken.
Moments later, police officers were seen hauling away the broken table.
It's a table that should have 4 legs, but it's a table with only 2 legs because when the confrontation did happen, 2 legs got broken, microphones on it all got destroyed, and so that table is now being taken away.
The situation spiraled further as leaders briefly left the room before returning, with Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin accusing the NDC of attempting to bully and intimidate them.
NDC is always up to intimidating people. They think that they must always bully. We will not accept not any bully. They can call us micro-minority. They can say whatever they want to say. Just as we finished the fit, we realized that they've paraded several other nominees, dressed, and then they thought that we will boycott. We will not boycott. We will not boycott.
Majority Leader Mahama Ayarega confirmed the vetting could not continue, citing the destruction of nearly all the logistics.
We would have continued, but logistically, it is no longer possible to continue. Logistically, the microphones have all been destroyed. The technical staff have closed and they have gone home. And so there's no way, in fact, even if they were here, the destruction of some of the machines here cannot be easily replaced tonight.
The session has now been adjourned until Friday morning, with the process set to resume at a more secure location, the conference room of Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin's office.
As you would see with MPs at each other's neck, pushing and shoving each other, tables have been destroyed, microphones have been destroyed, simply because they will not let down their entrenched positions on this matter and allow the process to continue or otherwise. And once they could not come to a gentleman agreement, they decided that they will go the way of brawl, and they went the way of confrontation. Tables have now been destroyed and microphones have been destroyed. The decision now is to suspend now, go and reflect on this, and we've seen very violent confrontation at the start of the 9th Parliament. My name is Kweku Asante, reporting for Joy News, Parliament House, Accra.
All that will be discussed later on the big story segment, so you want to stay for that. But in other stories, Minister Designates for Communications, Digitalization and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, has announced plans to conduct a SIM card re-registration exercise if he is approved by Parliament. This, according to him, is meant to deal with the current level of cyber fraud. James Aveji has more from his vetting, plus all the drama that unfolded in the following report.
True to what many would have predicted, the 5 hours vetting of Minister Nominee for Communications, Digitalization and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, has turned out as one of the longest, with the Minority Leader Alexander Penyumarking taking him on for over 3 hours. First was the back and forth over Sam George's criticism of the Chief Justice.
Is it your case that the LGBT case mounted by my respected friend Richard Delasky, barrister at law, etc., was deliberately delayed by the Chief Justice of the Republic? Is that your position? Yes, no?
Mr. Chairman, the description are your attributions, not mine. My words were that she had the power to move the case faster than it was being done. And subsequent actions after the demonstration that I led have actually proved my position to be true. That when the Chief Justice gives a timeline, everybody, respondent or plaintiff, Attorney General inclusive, must abide by it. When she invoked her powers, everybody complied. So my contention that she could have expedited it if she had given earlier timelines were proving right by her subsequent actions.
Alexander Penyumarking also took Sam George on a long haul of query on his social media post, media and public criticism of the previous government.
Was indeed a beneficiary of the Galamsey activity. Do you solemnly believe in that? That indeed he was a beneficiary of this?
Chairman, my understanding is that the president at the time was leader of the NPP, per your constitution. He was leader of the party. We also listened to the recording between the then Minister for Environment, Science and Technology and the then Vice Chairman of your Central Region Party, where he said you needed to do Galamsey because party Hiasika. The party that Hiasika or needed money was the NPP, and President Akufo-Addo was leader of the NPP. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and has his kids in a row behind it like a duck, it is a duck.
to some issues around the sector, the minister-designate says the ministry will conduct another SIM card registration if approved and also reduce cost of mobile data.
On the issues of mobile money fraud, we have to work collaboratively with the MNOs, and that's why we have to go back to the issue of SIM re-registration again, to properly register the SIMs so that the MNOs can identify who it is. Because it's one thing blocking the SIMs, it's another thing tracking the persons, the cartels behind it, and being able to arrest them and prosecute them. You need to be able to identify persons who hold SIMs.
On the controversial anti-LGBTQIA+ bill, the Ningo Prampram MP said he will support its comeback to Parliament.
My position is that that bill is a critical part of our national life. Ghanaian family values, our children's innocence must be protected. In this 9th Parliament, that bill will be reintroduced, either as a private member's bill or as government's bill. I will work with government. If it's government's bill, if it's not and it's my bill, I will bring it back again, because my chiefs seated here, the chiefs from Ningo and Prampram, supported me in bringing that bill in the 8th Parliament. They've asked me to reintroduce it in the 9th Parliament. I will do so.
But personally, how does the nominee flex his budget beyond his pay as an MP?
Did you have the benefit of any secondary source of income?
Mr. Chairman, I'm married to a very industrious woman.
No, I don't get it. Please explain.
I'm married to an industrious woman.
Okay, so please explain to us, if you say you are married to an industrious woman and that is the source of your secondary income, what exactly do you mean?
I mean, my wife takes care of me.
Very well.
It is unclear what position the minority will take towards the approval of the nominee. James Abeji for Joy News.
From Parliament, let's move on to other stories. The Alwyn Traditional Council in the Western region is asking the government and its allied agencies to halt the destruction of forest reserves in the area. The call comes in the wake of fresh invasion of the Tanwanya, Tanonmiri and Yoyo forest reserves by illegal miners. Members of the Alwyn Traditional Council accuse Member of Parliament for the area, Oscar Oforilabi, of fueling galamsey activities in the Tanwanya Forest Reserve. Erastus Asaridonko tells us more.
The Tanwanya, Tanonmiri and Yoyo forests have recently come under attack by illegal miners led by known NDC activists in the Alwyn municipality. The siege has led to violent clashes which have claimed 2 lives and resulted in several injuries. 3 armed groups have taken over sections of the forest, mining illegally. The Alwyn Traditional Council accused the MP for Alwyn, Oscar Oforilabi, of involvement in the illegal invasion of the Tanwanya Forest Reserve. Chief of Nkwanta, Nana Into, at the news conference urged the new Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa, to protect the forest.
So now we want to appeal to the government through Forestry Commission with all the necessary institutions to come to our aid so that the forest could be protected for us.
According to the Traditional Council, Oscar Oforilabi has ignored their calls to address concerns, prompting them to urge the regional executives of the National Democratic Congress to intervene. Nana Peyin II is Tufuhene of Inchi.
As we speak, Honorable Labi has never honored our invitation to meet with Nananum. Nananum engaged diplomatically with the regional executives of the NDC to call Labi to order, but he abused them. He went ahead and collected 200,000 entry fee for groups to enter our forest. Consequently, Nananum has no choice than to write to the Ghana Cattle Bishop on the 20th to help appeal to the government to stop Labi and his gang from these notorious activities.
The Traditional Council is calling for a joint effort from the government, Forestry Commission, the media and security agencies to stop the destruction of forests in the Alwyn municipality. Nana Into, Chief of Nkwanta again.
So when Nananum had this issue, we called Labi. Labi could not come. So Ked, who is a special assistant to Labi, came to the palace, telling us that all those activities going on, the power that the authority that he had was from levy. And that squad, Karim, Farouk, Baron, they were those people who are working in the forest. They are working in the forest. And whenever you ask them, they will tell you it's Eska Ofoli Labi, who is the MP, whom they are doing that work for.
Two of the groups have since abandoned the illegality in the forest, leaving one group still on site. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Awin Municipality, Western Region.
Remember, hashtag no to Galamsey, hashtag stop Galamsey now are still on. But moving on, there are calls for a recalibration of Africa's investment space to support businesses. According to the Managing Director of VFD Group PLC, Nonso Okpala, this is critical to boosting the operations of businesses on the continent. He spoke to Joy News at a high-level retreat for the VFD's group in Ghana.
VFD Group high-level retreat brought together managing directors and key executives from VFD Group's diverse subsidiaries to foster strategic alignment, drive growth, and inspire leadership excellence. The three-day retreat taking place in Accra is designed to serve as a platform for reflection, collaboration, and forward-thinking discussions that will shape the group's strategic vision for 2025 and beyond. Speaking to Joy Business on the significance of the retreat, Nonso Okpala, Group Managing Director of VFD Group PLC, emphasized the importance of alignment in an expanding ecosystem.
VFD Group is a proprietary investment company based out of Lagos, currently with investments in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa, in the UK, and what we typically do is make investments in companies and opportunities that we find. As of today, we have active investments in 16 companies, most of which are here, represented by their MDs. The objective is for us to continue to find ways to create synergy. The objective is for us to brainstorm on the strategy and the objective of our company. Understanding is that if we go into other African countries, we go with that same mindset of replicating these businesses in those locations. A third consideration for us is around our ecosystem-focused fintech business called Bundle. It provides loyalty to businesses within our ecosystem and out of our ecosystem. Our general consideration for VFD Group is to invest in companies that we consider champions in.
Part of ET's 2025 vision, VFD Group is set to expand its global operations, strengthen its Ghana presence, and position itself on the top global exchanges. The retreat will be a cornerstone in driving this ambitious agenda, ensuring that every leader within the ecosystem is aligned with the group's long-term strategic priorities. Here is the Managing Director of VFD Ghana, Hubert Asamoah.
Well, it's been an interesting retreat so far because we've got the chance to meet all our CEOs from across the group. More than 50 people all joining to deliberate about the future of our company. And we've managed to create and enhance the bonds that link us already. I think 2025 is our year, and I hope we are all going to do very well. So when we meet next year, we'll be able to share all the success stories that were planted at this retreat.
The three-day retreat was under the theme Refresh, Align, and Connect.
The effects of climate change are worsening poverty and unemployment in Ghana, forcing many young people to migrate from rural areas to cities in search of opportunities that often don't exist. ActionAid Ghana Country Director John Nkol has highlighted the urgent need for interventions. He made these remarks during the launch of the Strengthening Community Resilience Against Climate Change project in WA. Upper West Region, our Joy News Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
ActionAid Ghana, in partnership with GIZ, introduced the over £1 million Sell and Reach project to support climate interventions in 110 communities across the Upper West and Savannah regions. Launched at WA, the initiative focused on improving access to water resources and irrigation infrastructure, as well as improving afforestation and soil health in targeted communities, using reports from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the World Meteorological Agency on the rise of global temperatures. ActionAid Ghana Country Director John Enkau lamented of the disproportionate changes that affects women, youth, and children, leading to food insecurity, increased poverty, and hindering overall development.
A World Meteorological Organization report indicates that 66% chance that from 2023 to 2027, at least 1 year will see average global temperatures exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius, above pre-industrial levels. They also threaten our progress towards the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Drought, heat, and floods in current times have affected food sovereignty and increasing poverty in Ghana, and more especially and specifically also affecting the Upper West region and the Savannah regions. Ghana is not immune to these challenges. Notable events include annual spillage of the Bagre Dam in Burkina Faso and the Weja Dam in recent times in the Greater Accra region, both causing significant destruction to communities along the river banks. The spillage displaced over 35,000 people across 3 regions, destroying livelihoods and homes. Furthermore, the severe drought during the 2024 cropping season, the worst since the 1982-83, has heavily impacted food security in agricultural heartlands, particularly across the northern Ghana.
John Enkau enumerated plethora of climate change intervention programs that ActionAid Ghana and its partners initiated in the past to confront the growing climate-induced challenges, which has helped to improve climate resilience strategies for smallholder farmers.
Overarching context demonstrates the widening poverty gap, gender inequality, and increasing injustices around the world, and particularly the Upper West and the Savannah regions, which require a comprehensive set of actions, strategies, priorities in the communities that we work in, particularly facing the youth, women, and girls.
Project manager for the REACH project, Matthias Betold, threw further light on the project.
The REACH project is not working alone. It's actually part of a larger program, the EU-Ghana Agricultural Program, which is, by the way, the largest program of the EU in Ghana. And aside from the REACH project, there is also the market-oriented agriculture program. Maybe you know it, it's also implemented by GIZ, and the agricultural water management program, which there will be also some similarities with this one here. So all in all, it's really looking at achieving an impact, bringing solutions for economic development based on agriculture, leveraging the potential of irrigation and agricultural development.
Chief Director at the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, Haji Pogna Fati Kure, in a speech read on her behalf by an Assistant Director at the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, Walid Adams, pledged the commitment of the Upper West RCC to making the project successfully. Reporting for the News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Coming back from wine, going straight into our business update segment with Benjamin Akakbo.
Welcome to Business. Let's kickstart matters with our currency market updates. On to our stories now. Now, government is actively negotiating with 60 international banks to restructure $2.7 billion in commercial loans. According to Finance Minister Dr. Cassiel Atoforsen, this is part of a broader strategy to manage the country's debt and restore economic stability. He was speaking at a media engagement.
The Memorandum of Understanding formalizes the debt treatment agreed with the Official Creditors Committee and follows a long and in-depth negotiation process initiated by the government of Ghana back in June 2024. The signing of this agreement constitutes an important milestone in Ghana's debt restructuring journey. Ghana is now entering the final stage of the restructuring process. We now have a strong and detailed framework to implement the financial terms through bilateral agreement with the official creditors. We also hope to make further progress with our commercial creditors in the coming weeks to reach a mutual beneficiary solution for the debt treatment. In these discussions, we will be guided by the most favored creditors clause and in the principles of comparability of treatment, offering a precise framing of the terms that creditors may receive. As Minister, I will expedite our engagement in order to complete the remaining 7% of the debt restructuring. We take this opportunity to appreciate the efforts and support so far by the external commercial creditors and urge them to support us to complete this process as soon as possible. With this progress on the debt restructuring, we will now focus on our economic recovery through the implementation of an ambitious reform agenda, fostering strong, resilient, and inclusive growth for all Ghanaians. I repeat, with this progress on the debt restructuring, we will now focus our economic recovery through the implementation of an ambitious reform agenda, fostering strong and inclusive growth for all Ghanaians.
In our second story, the Minister-designate for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Rashid Pelpo, has emphasized that government is ready to support already existing businesses to participate in the 24-hour economy policy. He disclosed this when he appeared before the Appointments Committee.
And policy direction of it is to give vent to businesses, to make it not just a choice, but a policy decision by the state, to ensure that in doing so, businesses can be supported. Those businesses that were not in 24 hours can now be supported to join the race. It's no longer going to be as and when I like it, but just when I like it and backed by government policy. So it is true that several organizations are already working 24 hours, and that's giving credence to the fact that we can get others to join them. You know, one of the challenges that other businesses are facing working 24 hours is how much they can ensure security. And we say we'll provide the security. Is how much they can ensure enough capacity. We said we will support them with the capacity. You know, and et cetera, et cetera. How much do we have enough money to pay for electricity? We said we will support you to do so. It's simply just to boost production, create more opportunity for our people to work, and to ensure that we reshape the economy in a manner that is going to be work-based and production-based.
Up next, let's serve you the commodities market. I'm your chef for business. Thanks for allowing me to serve you. Handing over back to Sweetie Abochi.
If you're a chef, what does that make me then?
Ah, well, my co-chef.
Well, that ends the AM news on the AM show, but stay because the news review comes right up. And Andrew Apia Dankwa is a legal practitioner and spokesperson for Movements for Change. Dr. Ikuya Mwako, member of the NPP communications team, and Dr. Kwamina Mentanyako, member of Parliament for Cape Coast North. They all join us to review the newspapers. We'll be right back.